Hi friends, welcome to Setu's Biology. Today our topic is about Staphylococcus aureus. Actually, the Staphylococci is the genus. It contains different species of the microorganisms. Actually, this Staphylococcus is the gram-positive bacteria. It is a cocci. In the name itself, we came to know that it is a cocci. Cocci means round. I already said in the previous video in the introduction of the bacteria about the structures of the bacteria. This Staphylococci is the round shaped bacteria. That's why it is known as a cocci. Actually, these Staphylococci are arranged in a grape-like clusters like this. Means bunch of grapes. These are arranged in the grape-like clusters, and the Staphylococci is the commonest cause of the suppression diseases, means the pyogenic diseases or the pus causing infections in a human body. And these Staphylococcus contains 3 species over here. What are those? Let's see. Staphylococcus aureus is the first species. Staphylococcus epidermis is the second species. Staphylococcus saprophyticus is the third species. These are the 3 different species which are present over the genera Staphylococcus. Today we are going to deal with only the Staphylococcus aureus. Let's see the morphology of the Staphylococcus aureus. Actually, the Staphylococcus aureus is the gram-positive one. I already said that, and in the previous video, so I already gave the detailed information about what is the gram-positive bacteria and what are the gram-negative bacteria. Actually, the gram-positive and the gram-negative bacteria are splitted based on the cell wall composition of the bacteria, mainly the peptidoglycan layer. And these are the cocci, means round-shaped bacteria, and these are non-motile, means they do not have motility because there is an absence of the flagella over this bacteria, and these are non-sporing, means these are not having the ability to form the spores. And these Staphylococcus size vary from the 1 micrometer in diameter. These cocci are arranged in a grape-like clusters in this form. This grape-like cluster formation is mainly due to the sequential division of the bacteria. In which way these bacteria get divided in a sequential way, means in a 3 perpendicular planar way. These are going to divide in the way these are going to form a grape-like cluster formation. That's why it is known as a grape-like cluster bacteria, nothing but the Staphylococcus bacterium. This is about the morphology of the Staphylococcus aureus. Let's see the resistance of the Staphylococcus aureus. Resistance is nothing but at which conditions it is going to be survived, at which temperature it is going to be survived, at which temperature it is going to be killed. These are all come under this resistance. Comparable to the other bacteria, these Staphylococcus aureus are more resistant. These are mainly survive in the dried pus and for about 2 to 3 months period, means in the dried pus this Staphylococcus aureus is going to be survive for 2 to 3 months period of time, and it is going to be killed at 62 degrees Celsius for about 30 minutes. Means if Staphylococcus aureus is exposed to the 62 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes, it must be killed. And about 80 degrees Celsius for 1 hour also the Staphylococcus aureus may be killed. This is the resistance of the Staphylococcus aureus. Let's see the antigenic structure of the Staphylococcus aureus. In here we are going to see what are the parts or what is the structure of the antigenic of the Staphylococcus aureus. Let's see what are the parts are involved in its structure. The outer coat is known as the capsule. Downward before the capsule, the protein part was present. In the at the down of the protein part, peptidoglycan layer was present. I already said that the gram positive and gram negative bacteria was classified based on this peptidoglycan layer composition only. In the gram positive bacteria, the peptidoglycan layer composition was more than the gram negative bacteria. At the down of the peptidoglycan layer, cytoplasmic membrane was present. Beside this, the cytoplasm was present. These are the different structural parts of the antigen, that is Staphylococcus aureus. Let's see what are the roles played by the individual parts. Let's start with the capsule. This some of the strains of the Staphylococcus aureus possess capsule. This capsule is going to inhibit the phagocytosis. Nothing but when the Staphylococcus aureus is entered into the human body, then one of the human's immune response is going to fight against that antigen, nothing but the Staphylococcus aureus. But due to the presence of this capsule, the antibodies which are going to fight against this antigen do not able to kill this antigen. That is a main role played by this capsule. Means it is going to inhibit the phagocytosis, nothing but the killing of the antigen by the immune response of the human body. Actually, this capsule is mainly made up of the polysaccharides. Capsulated strains tend to be more virulent. Mean the microorganisms or the bacteria which are having this capsule are more virulent, having more pathogenicity to the bacterium. This is the main role played by the capsule in the Staphylococcus aureus. Let's see with the other one, that is nothing but the protein. Actually here the protein A is present. It is mainly a cell wall component of the most strains of the Staphylococcus aureus. It is this protein A is mainly coated with any IgG antiserums. Means here to this protein the IgG antiserum will get agglutinated if mixed with its corresponding antigen. This procedure is known as the coagulation. All the coagulation process or the antigen means when the antibody gets attached to the antigen may get attached to this protein part only. That's the main role played by the protein over this structure. Let's go to the peptidoglycan layer. Actually, this peptidoglycan is a polysaccharide polymer. It is going to provide the rigidity to the cell wall, means toughness again to the cell wall. And it is going to and means this peptidoglycan is going to activate the complement and evokes the production of the inflammatory cytokines in the human body. Next, this is the role played by the peptidoglycan layer. Next, go to the cytoplasmic membrane. Cytoplasmic membrane is a membrane which is going to protect the internal parts of the cell wall. Next, the cytoplasms. In here the cytoplasm is having the genetic material, ribosomes, the components which are going to present over the prokaryotic body of the bacteria are going to present over here the cytoplasm. These are the different structural parts of the antigen Staphylococcus aureus. Let's see what are the toxins and the enzymes are produced by this Staphylococcus aureus. Actually, these toxins and enzymes are playing a major role for major role as a important virulence factors of the organism, that is the Staphylococcus aureus. These virulence factors like toxins and the enzymes are going to produce the disease in the humans or the animals, nothing but these are playing a major role for the producing diseases. Let's see what are the toxins are going to produced by the Staphylococcus aureus. The first one is the hemolysins. Actually, these hemolysins are of four types. The first one is the alpha, beta, gamma and the delta hemolysins. Let's see what are the roles played by these hemolysins. The first one, that is the alpha hemolysin. Alpha hemolysin is most important pathogenic toxin which is going to be promote the cytotoxic and leucocidal and the dermonecrotic action to the human body, and it mainly causes injury to the circulatory system and the muscle tissues of the human. This is the role played by the alpha-toxin when entered into the human body. Next, go to the beta toxin. Actually, these beta toxin are also known as the beta lysine. Alpha toxin are also known as the alpha lysine, and this beta lysine is a hemolytic, mainly for the sheep cells. The cells which are going to present on the sheep, these are going to hemolytic on the sheep only, these beta lysines, and these are not going to act against the humans or the rabbit erythrocytes, means RBC. This beta lysines are going to initiate the lysis at 37 degrees Celsius, but these are going to invade the sheep cells only in the cold temperature only. This is a main role played by the beta lysines in the sheep cells. Next, go to the gamma lysines. Let's see what is the role played by the gamma lysines. It also mainly acts on the humans, sheeps, and the RBC, means rabbit erythrocytes. Means the major role of these toxins is to lysis the RBC of the human, rabbit, sheep, or other etc. Means these gamma lysines are going to lyse the RBC of the human, sheep, as well as the rabbit also. Next, last one is the delta lysines. These lysines are going to lytic the human, sheep, and rabbit RBC cells. These are the major roles played by the hemolysin toxins. Let's see about the leukocidin toxin. It is mainly composed of the two components. One is the slow component, the next one is the fast component. These components are going to damage the polymorphonuclear leukocytes and also the macrophages. These two components are going to spoil the polymorphonuclear leukocytes as well as the macrophages. This toxin is also known as the Pantone Valentine toxin. When it is discovered, after that it is named as the Pantone Valentine toxin. The next one is the enterotoxin. This toxin is mainly responsible for causing the food poisoning. Food poisoning is mainly caused due to this enterotoxin. Actually, this toxin is of different types. Those are the A, B, C1, C2, C3, D, E, H, and I. These are antigenically distinct enterotoxins. These have been identified. Type A toxin is mainly responsible for the most cases of the food poisoning. This enterotoxin is mainly resistant to the gut enzymes. Means when this toxin is entered into the gut of the human body, in the gut there are so many enzymes which are going to destroy this type of toxins, but this enterotoxin is resistant to the gut enzymes also. It is also resistant for the boiling of about 30 degrees 30 minutes at a temperature. Means I already said in the resistance that this Staphylococcus aureus is going to kill at the 65 degrees Celsius, but to the temperature also, when it is exposed to the temperature for about 30 minutes, it is going to be resistant for that also. This is the main role played by this enterotoxin. Next, go to the toxic shock syndrome toxin. Most of the strains are producing this toxic shock syndrome toxin. It is mainly belonging to the bacteriophage group 1. It is most often responsible, and it is a toxin producing strain colonies vagina more frequently. And next, go to the exfoliative toxin. Actually, the exfoliative toxins are of two types. Those are the A and B. These are the different toxins which are playing a major role in causing the infection over the human body. These are all produced by the Staphylococcus aureus only. Let's see what are the enzymes released by or produced by the Staphylococcus aureus. Those are the coagulase, phosphatase, and the deoxyribonuclease. Coagulase is the enzyme which is playing a major role. Actually, this coagulase is having the 8 types. Those are from the A to H, the coagulase types are present. These are having the antigenic stability. Most of the human strains of the Staphylococcus aureus having the ability to produce the coagulase type A enzyme. It has a property, means this coagulase enzyme having the property to clot the human or the rabbit plasma. Actually, this coagulase enzyme is a heat labile, means heat sensitive one. This is the main role played by the enzymes in the causing the infection in the human body. These are the different toxins and the enzymes are released by the or produced by the Staphylococcus aureus. Let's see what is the pathogenesis of the Staphylococcus aureus. Means what type of diseases or the infections are going to cause it by this Staphylococcus aureus. Let's see what are those. Actually, this Staphylococcus is the pyogenic organism, nothing but the pus forming organism, and it is also going to form the lesions. Also means this type of lesions are going to form on the skin of the human body when it gets affected with the Staphylococcus aureus. Actually, the coagulase enzyme is going to enhance the virulence of the Staphylococcus aureus by inhibiting the phagocytosis, and it is going to form the wall of the fibrin clot around these lesions. Means the coagulase enzyme is going to form a fibrin clot. It going to cover a enzyme over the lesion, and this creamy pus is formed in the Staphylococcus aureus. For example, some of the wounds get or formed with the pus, right? Those are the pus forming wounds are nothing but the staphylococcal infecting lesions, that are nothing but staphylococcal infection. Actually, the staphylococci is causing the different types of diseases. Those are classified into different types, that is the cutaneous infection, deep infection, food poisoning, nosocomial infection, skin exfoliative infection, and the toxic shock syndrome. Let's see with each and every infection in the detailed way. Start with the cutaneous infections. Cutaneous infections are nothing but the superficial infections of the human body. These superficial infections are nothing but the pustules, boils, carbuncles, asbests, styes, and the pemphigus and the neonatrum wound and the burn infections are all come under these cutaneous infections, which are going to formed by the Staphylococcus aureus. Let's go to the deep infections. These deep infections are nothing but the osteomyelitis or the pharyngitis. Means the inner part of the body may get affected due to this deep infections of the Staphylococcus aureus. Pharyngitis, tonsillitis, sinusitis, and the emphysema, endocarditis, meningitis. These are all come under the deep infections. And next, go to the food poisoning. I already said in the toxins and the enzymes which are released by the Staphylococcus aureus, mainly the enterotoxin is going to play a major role for causing the food poisoning infections in the human body. This infection is follows for about 2 to 6 hours after the, means when the Staphylococcus aureus is going to be ingested or contaminate the food, when this contaminated food is taken by the person, when the person is consumed this contaminated food, after the 2 to 6 hours this food poisoning may occur to that human body. This is mainly caused by the enterotoxins only. Next, see about the nosocomial infections. These are mainly acquired by the hospital environment, hospital acquired infection. This one is nosocomial infection, is the hospital acquired infection. Next, see the skin exfoliative disease. These diseases are mainly produced by the strains of the Staphylococcus aureus, which are going to produce the exfoliative toxin. These are forming the superficial layers of the skin from the underlying tissue, occur in the various exfoliative syndromes caused by the Staphylococcus cocci. Next, go to the toxic shock syndrome, and it is characterized, means this toxic shock syndrome is mainly formed by the toxic shock syndrome toxin. It is mainly characterized by the high fever, and the hypotension, means low BP, low tension, and the vomiting, diarrhea, and the rashes which are going to form the rash on the skin. These are all the different characteristic features of this toxic shock syndrome which are going to produce caused by the Staphylococcus aureus. These are the different diseases of the Staphylococcus aureus. Before going to the treatment, I am going to give the detail or basic details about the lab diagnosis of the Staphylococcus aureus. In the lab diagnosis, first we have to collect the samples or the specimens from the patients who are affected with this Staphylococcus aureus infections. First we are going to collect the sample. Which type of samples we are going to collect from the patient means, for example, pus or the sputum or blood, urine, CSF, feces, and the food or vomit, means the vomitings which are caused due to this infection. Those vomiting are also collected as a sample. These are all the samples which are collected from the patients. Later we are going to collect the specimens in the sterile container, means pus may be collected in one of the container, urine may be collected in the urine container. Like the different containers are required for the collection of the different samples. Later, after the collection of the sample from the patient, we are going to done a direct microscopy, means we are going to add the samples to the slide and we are going to perform the gram stain for detecting that whether this the causative agent is either a gram positive one or the gram negative one. This gram positive and the gram negative bacteria are going to detected by using the gram stain only. After performing the direct microscopy, we can get whether the organism is a gram positive or the gram negative. After the direct microscopy, we are going to culture the sample. Culture, nothing but the we are going to cultivate this sample in the blood agar or the peptone water. Why we are going to inoculate this sample in the blood agar means, I already said in the toxins and the enzymes which are produced by the Staphylococcus aureus, these are the having the ability to the hemolyze, means these are having the ability to break the RBC. So in the blood agar we can detect the such type of hemolyzing organisms very easily. That's why we are going to cultivate these those samples in the blood agar. Next we are going to check after the cultivation of the samples in the blood agar as well as the peptone water. We are going to check the colony morphology of the organism. On the blood agar we can get the 2 to 4 mm diameter of the colonies. The colonies are normally circular, raised, opaque, and produce a golden yellow pigment, means the Staphylococcus aureus produce golden yellow pigment colonies, and these are also having the ability to produce a beta hemolysis colonies also. These are the colony morphology of the Staphylococcus aureus. On the gram staining, we can get that the Staphylococcus aureus, I already said this is the gram positive one. These are arranged in a grape-like clusters. I already showed how these are going to be look. In this way, we can observe the we can observe the Staphylococcus aureus in the microscope. Let's see what are the biochemical reactions of the Staphylococcus aureus. Actually, these biochemical reactions are going to perform for the confirmation of the microorganism, which type of microorganism is going to cause the infection. Actually, this Staphylococcus aureus is the catalyzed positive. In the coagulase test, it is, or coagulase test is also the positive, and in the mannitol fermentation, it is going to produce the acid without the gas. It is going to liquefy the gelatin also, and it is going to reduce the tellurite also, and it is having the ability to produce the enzymes like phosphatase deoxyribonuclease. These are the different biochemical reactions which are going to be produced by the Staphylococcus aureus. These are the different lab diagnosis or the tests which are going to perform against this Staphylococcus aureus. Let's see what is the treatment given to the patients who are affected with these Staphylococcus aureus infections. The benzyl penicillin is the drug which is going to be act most actively against the special strains of the Staphylococcus aureus, and cloxacillin is also the drug which is used mainly against the beta lactamase. Means I already said the different enzymes are going to produce it by this Staphylococcus aureus. The strain which is going to be produced beta lactamase enzymes, those strains are mainly get affected by this cloxacillin drug. These are the different drugs we are using to treat this Staphylococcus aureus infections. This is the complete detailed information about the Staphylococcus aureus morphology, antigenic structure, and the biochemical reactions, and the toxins and the enzymes which are going to release it by this Staphylococcus aureus, and the pathogenesis of the Staphylococcus aureus, and the lab diagnosis of the Staphylococcus aureus, and the treatment all of the Staphylococcus aureus. I think you understand the detailed information of the Staphylococcus aureus. If you like this video, please do subscribe, share, and the like. Thank you so much.